Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. Today I want to have a great conversation about this phrase, artificial scarcity, as we're seeing all these TCGs enter the marketplace with their different pull rates and their super fabled rares and their, secret rares, and we're seeing Magic the Gathering, if you haven't seen, has launched a new card that is out of 100. So there's a lot of dialogue going on about this artificial scarcity thing. I want to start this video off by saying I am not a expert and I am not a financial advisor. Whatever I say here, just take as my opinion. Don't take it as like fact or something like that. I feel like I'm still learning and I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about all these things. I purchased the Eye of Ophidia and I've obviously lost a decent amount of money on that. And there's just a lot of stuff going around. And so I want to have an honest conversation about this phrase, artificial scarcity. Because honestly, I think the phrase is cute. But I think it's kind of BS. Like, I think at the end of the day, a card is worth whatever the community or somebody in the community is willing to pay for it. Like, that's a tenet that I really believe in, that at the end of the day, something's worth something that whatever somebody's willing to pay for it. And this is where I really try to emphasize on my channel, don't buy something if you don't have the intention of keeping it forever. Like, don't spend X amount of dollars on something just to flip it for $2,000 or to flip it for whatever percentage. Only buy things that you're confident in and that you actually like, because I think that's really important. So, at the end of the day, things are only worth what people are going to pay for them. And so I think this term artificial scarcity is a little bit just of like a cute phrase that people want to use to undermine the ideas that these game creators are coming out with. And let me say, I think that this Magic the Gathering card's really exciting. I guess we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Let's talk about the cards that are out. You've got the Magic the Gathering card that just came out. You've also got like the Heart of Feyendale, the Fable from every Flesh and Blood set. So the Heart of Feyendale is like out of 416 is kind of what people think. It might be less, it might be more. You've got the Eye, then you've got the all the other fables. Then in Metazoo, you've got the Old Scratch and you've got the Red Ink that are each out of 100. The most recent sale for an Old Scratch is 13,000. I don't know what to say for the Heart of Feyendale. I don't know what to tell you with the latest sale. It's been a while since I've seen one. And then you've got the sample cards too, which is another thing for Metazoo that are kind of all over the place, and there's another dialogue to have there. So I want to talk about this a little bit because I think that if you look at the Alpha Heart, and if you look at the Metazoo sample cards, these cards weren't created originally to be like these uber expensive things. They were created to have collectibility in mind, but to scale with the collectibility of the game. And you can make the same argument for like Old Scratch or the Red Ink. I think it's a little bit of a harder argument to make, but at the end of the day, like, the card's still only worth what people were willing to pay for it, because the Old Scratch came out at like 10 grand or something like that. So like, it's a little hard to make that argument. But like, these sample cards, like, they weren't worth anything at one point, and they've grown over time. And same with the Heart of Feyendale. I remember some people talking about like that they saw Heart of Feyendales at like $400. Like, they weren't these expensive chase multi-$1,000 cards that they are today. And a lot of that is because of the way that the market speculates and prices in the success of these games. Like, if you compare these cards to some of the reserve list Magic the Gathering and some of that, they are incredibly rare, and we know roughly the amount of supply that they have. So it provides this opportunity to really take a heavy investment on a game's success. So if you believe in the success of Flesh and Blood, buying one of these cards looks really good because you can actually compare it to something that is successful like Magic the Gathering. And that's what some of those price points were set for, was looking at the success and the future of the games. I'm almost positive that's what people are buying the Old Scratch for. That's what people are buying, the sample cards for. It's because you can see the potential that the value is worth. Now, these cards, all of them, the Heart, the whatever, the Eye that I bought, the Old Scratch, the Red Ink, all the Kickstarter exclusive stuff that's coming out right now, in 5 years they could be worth nothing if the games are not successful. And this is where I think we see a lot of Magic the Gathering looking to compete in this space, because Magic the Gathering is successful. And Magic the Gathering is going to be successful. Whether you like the game or not, Magic the Gathering is a pillar of the trading card industry. I would say nearly every single game shop will carry Flesh and Blood. Sorry, Magic the Gathering. And I think where Magic the Gathering sees is an opportunity to step in. So I want to criticize them a little bit. Because as a old fan of Magic the Gathering, this didn't do it for me. This didn't make me want to, it did not make me want to hop in and start buying Secret Layers to get this numbered out of 100 card. I would not buy that card because I'm a fan of Magic the Gathering. Like, there's no creativity here, and this is what frustrates me. Like, if you look at the Heart of Fiendel, right, it's a beautiful card, arguably one of the most beautiful cards in Flesh and Blood. If you look at the Eye of Ophidia, I think really is the most beautiful card in Flesh and Blood. Old Scratch has a unique characteristic. It is a unique card that is on theme with the set, and it has abilities and it has whatever that are on theme with the set. It is unique. It is this is just like a backwards card. Now, I will say, like, you can criticize, maybe you don't like Old Scratch because you don't like the Metazoo artwork. That's fine. But for somebody who does like Metazoo, you'll like that. Maybe you, with the new Fables, maybe you don't like that the new Fables aren't gems, so it doesn't strike but some people love the landscape ones. And so, like, I think, like, at the end of the day, I get frustrated by things like the Viscera Seer that's just like a card printed backwards, because it's like it lacks the creativity. And I think if Magic the Gathering really wants to compete, they're going to have to put a little bit more creativity and design and create, like the cold foil for a Flesh and Blood card. Like they've put this like energy into designing it and making it look really pretty and really amazing. And so, like, I think at the end of the day, if Magic the Gathering wants to compete in this space, then they're going to need to up the ante a little bit, to up the design quality, to up the whatever. And here's the thing. I don't fully believe that Magic the Gathering needs to do this. I guess they need to do it to sell. Like, I think we see this coming in booster boxes. If they want to compete in the modern world, they need to do it for booster boxes. But I don't anticipate that these cards are going to hold up long term to like the Magic the Gathering reserve list things. I think where we see the value in the sample cards or the Fables, the Alpha and the Cold Foil Fables, and the 1 of 100 Old Scratch and all those things. The value of that is that the price is kind of building in the success of the game long term. And in my opinion, that's what the reserve list does for Magic the Gathering. Those prices have been built in the long term. And so I think competing with these, they're just not fancy enough. They're just not unique enough. They're just not special enough that somebody who could purchase a bunch of reserve list old Magic the Gathering cards that are, again, this is just my opinion, keep that in mind, but somebody who could purchase some Power 9, like, why would somebody buy Power 9? Why would somebody buy this reversed Viscera Seer, which is a common card that doesn't look that great? It just has a number and it's backwards. It doesn't have a ton of eye appeal. It's just a number. Like, and that there's going to be more just numbers that come out. Like, we've seen this. That there's going to be more Fables that come out, and you've seen this with the print runs increase and all that stuff. But like, the Fable prices get less as each set comes out because the old Fables are the ones that people want, and that's what I think. Like, this is the old cards that people want will be the Magic the Gathering cards. So in my opinion, if they want to do something like this, they need to flash it up and provide something of chase that's not just a number. That's just my opinion. And I think as these new Kickstarters come out, as these new things come out, I think it's really important that I don't think you can replicate things like, maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like you can't replicate when stuff comes out on Kickstarter now and it's worth $1,000. I don't think that you can replicate the demand. This video is called like artificial scarcity. You can't make artificial demand. Artificial demand doesn't exist. Demand is demand in the market, and this is real demand. this is real demand, especially when we were all buying them in the 6 months ago, 7 months ago. This was true demand that saw the prices increase, as people priced it in and things like that. This is true demand, and I think that things like things like this can be real demand. But when a new game comes out and it expects, this is kind of getting all over the place, but when a new game comes out and it expects that its cards are going to be worth thousands and thousands of dollars, that seems like artificial demand. Anyway, just a thought. I think there's a lot of nuances here. I think there's a lot. I think we are, as a community in the TCG world, learning a lot about what do these cards look like, what should they be priced at, how much demand is actually there versus how much demand is just like hype, right? Like you don't have art. You can't create artificial demand, but you can create hype that can drive demand for a shorter amount of time than you thought it would. And so I think as a community, we're really evaluating that kind of stuff. I think Magic the Gathering is going to come out hard. Like I said, I think that you're going to see numbered cards in booster boxes, probably starting with some of these modern sets that are going to really aim to get the price points up. In my opinion, they will have to make a little bit more of a drive to make the cards look prettier and look better and whatever, in order to compete with these other games in the high price. Like I think this card sold for $5,000, the Viserai Seer. I think that'll drop in price as we see more of them come out, because I don't pull a Viserai Seer numbered and be like, no, I want to keep this and display it. Like if I pull a Fable, I'm like, no, I want to keep that and display it. If I pulled the old Scratch, I'd be like, no, I want to keep that and I want to display it. If I pulled a Viserai Seer that's like just a reversed image with a number on it, I'm not like, I want to keep that. So I think you're going to see a lot more of these hitting the market. But I think if they do something that is unique and creative, maybe an artist sketch that's numbered or whatever, those things can hold an extreme value, and it can create some of that chase that so many people love in the Flesh and Blood, the Metazoo community, create some of that chase back in Magic the Gathering. And that could give some competition back to Magic the Gathering. I don't know if they do it though. Like that's the thing. Like I don't know if they have I just don't know if they have the drive to do it. Like to create something that unique. Like this tells me, like this image right here. I don't know, maybe I'm just sad on Magic, but this image right here tells me that they just want to take shortcuts. And I can tell you shortcuts aren't going to win in this competition. So hope you have a great day. Let me know what you think about all these cards in this conversation in the comment section below. Again, I tried to start this off by saying, like, I'm just learning. I'm just trying to feel out how I really feel about all this stuff. I'm trying to be transparent on how I feel about it. So I'm very curious to see what you think about it. Hope you have a great day. Remember, be kind to the people around you. And we'll see you again next video.